no sería tan inmensa mi tristeza como aquella de quedarme sin tu amor. Me importas tú, y tú, y tú, y solamente tú, y tú, y tú. Me importas tú, y tú, y tú, y nadie más que tú. Ojos negros, piel canela.
In Mexico, we celebrate a lot of holidays. We celebrate Christmas. We also celebrate the Day of the Dead and Halloween for some reason. We are a mixed culture, but yeah. And last but not least, we like to celebrate our history. We commemorate it by doing parties in a lot of cultural places. And yes,
We are a country that likes music. I personally love music. But we are a country that goes from this music
Si negaras mi presencia en tu vivir, bastaría.
to this music
Que no quede huella, que no y que no quede huella.
to this music
¡Qué calor! ¡Qué calor!
finally to this music.
De un porte muy exuberante y al estilo de antes. Y en la muñeca brilla un Rolex con diamantes, las llantas quemando y sirenas sonando. Y por la ventanita.
all Mexicans know that in September 16, the independence of Mexico is commemorated. It was the day the fight started. It was the year 1810, the night of the Grito de Dolores. In reality, almost all of the countries in the world had a process of independence. They tend to pay more attention to the beginning than to the consummation, because the former is the process is associated to heroism, and the consummation, on the other hand, often takes a backseat. Later in those years, in 1820, a constitutional government was established in Spain, which guaranteed the what? What did it guarantee? Let me remember. Many rights. Yeah, it guaranteed many rights, and including freedom of the press. And soon they began to be published in both in Spain and in New Spain, territory later called Mexico, in numerous newspaper pamphlets that spoke about the right of self-determination and the possibility of independence. It was a great time of effervescence in the public debate, and we began to talk about independence in a more open way, says Dr. Avila when independence began in 1810. The movement was hidden and made by conspiracies, but in 1820 this issue was already in public debate and could be discussed openly. And between 1820 and 1821, there were various groups that, despite their difference, agreed that independence was a good thing for New Spain. Among these groups were conservatives, people from the church or from the high bureaucracy of the viceroyalty, that the new constitutional regimen in Spain will take away their privileges. Other groups called autonomists agreed with liberalism of Spain but wanted more self-government for Mexico. Hereditary groups of the original insurgency were also present, such as Vicente Guerrero and Guadalupe Victoria, who had been fighting for the independence for over a decade. Members of these and other groups worked and act in favor of emancipation both in New Spain and from Spain. The role of Agustín Iturbide is something I like to recall in this type of themes. Well, Agustín de Iturbide was a realistic military leader. In the first years of the struggle for independence, he was against the rebels and in favor of private property and the privileges that the military had. However, years later, Iturbide also wanted the independence of Mexico. During the war that were battles and confrontations, but also correspondence between the sides. It was not uncommon for the warlords of both royalist and insurgent armies to send letters inviting their opponents to surrender or to join their cause, their movement. And this also happened between Agustín de Iturbide and Vicente Guerrero. Iturbide was very helpful in adding Vicente Guerrero to his cause, because he knew that with his action he could convince the other groups that been defeated in the past, but were still present and had strength, such as that Nicolás Bravo movement. And another event of enormous importance for the consummation was the Plan of Iguala, El Plan de Iguala, highly known here in Mexico. A document that managed to win the sympathy of numerous groups that wanted independence and offered benefits to practically everyone in the country, in New Spain. He proposes that the constitutions remain in force, maintain the privilege of the church and the army, to convene a congress with representatives from all the provinces. Then they proposed that a Spanish king or prince should reign here, and it also addressed that to all Americans to whom it grants the same rights regardless of their ethnic origin. Iturbide claimed the authorship of the plan. However, he is done with the ideas that were already in the public debate, both in Spain and New Spain. To protect and enforce the Plan of Iguala, the Trigarante Army was created, which would guarantee the principles of the plan: religion, independence, and union. In the Trigarante Army, Vicente Guerrero's army was subordinated to that of Iturbide, just as the two military chiefs that had agreed as the second had foreseen. Other insurgents joined in, and this army triumphantly entered Mexico City on September 27 in 1821. Agustín de Iturbide later played a very important role in the consummation of Mexico's independence. He was the author of the Plan of Iguala and head of the Army of Three Guarantees. However, it is very important to know that he alone could have not achieved the consummation, and that behind him there were many groups and people who were acting. And in addition to his role in helping the independence of Mexico to be consummated, Iturbide was a very ambitious man who did everything possible to crown himself as an imperial, which he succeeded in doing, but he finally was overthrown, exiled, and in 1824 shot. So this is how we end. I know it's a short video, but you asked for it, miss. Well, we asked for. So thank you for watching and see you later. Bye. I also hope you learned in a way that you can end like this.